The year was 1982. The South Atlantic had become one of the most dangerous battlefields on Earth. One side possessed powerful attack aircraft, the other had only a handful of strange-looking fighters that many experts believed would never survive modern air combat. But over the icy waters of the Falklands, history would prove everyone wrong. This is an original story, inspired by the courage of the pilots who fought for control of the skies. Cold winds swept across the endless gray ocean. British warships sailed toward the Falkland Islands. Far away, enemy airbases prepared wave after wave of attack aircraft. Every pilot knew one truth: whoever controlled the sky would decide the battle below. Aboard the aircraft carrier HMS Resolute, Lieutenant James Carter climbed into the cockpit of his Harrier. Unlike conventional fighters, the Harrier could take off in remarkably short distances and operate from small carriers, making it invaluable far from large airbases. His mission was simple: protect the fleet, no matter the cost. Hundreds of miles away, Captain Miguel Alvarez prepared his Skyhawk attack jet. His target wasn't another aircraft, it was the British fleet. He checked his fuel. Barely enough. His bombs. Ready. His map. One chance. If he missed the ships, he would probably never make it home. The runway disappeared behind him as the Skyhawk raced into the sky. Radar operators aboard the British carrier suddenly shouted, "Multiple aircraft approaching." The alarm echoed through every ship. Harriers launched immediately. James pushed the throttle forward. The Pegasus engine roared. Within moments, the fighter climbed into the freezing clouds. Somewhere ahead, enemy aircraft were coming. The weather turned against both sides. Rain, snow, low clouds. Visibility changed by the second. Then a voice crackled through James' headset. Visual contact. Dark silhouettes burst from the clouds. The Skyhawks were flying only a few meters above the ocean, using the waves to avoid radar detection. The chase had begun. Missiles streaked through the gray sky. Tracer rounds flashed like lightning. Harriers climbed sharply before diving behind the attackers. Skyhawks twisted violently, trying to escape. Explosions echoed across the sea. One aircraft disappeared into the clouds. Another burst into flames. The battle lasted only minutes, but for the pilots, it felt like hours. Some Skyhawks slipped through. British sailors watched helplessly as attack aircraft rushed toward the ships. Bombs fell. Columns of water erupted beside destroyers. One bomb struck a ship but failed to explode. Another exploded nearby, rocking the vessel with a towering wall of spray. Smoke covered the horizon. Rescue teams rushed to extinguish fires and save wounded sailors. James glanced at his fuel gauge, almost empty. He couldn't stay much longer. Far below, Miguel's Skyhawk had also burned through nearly all its fuel. Both men faced the same terrible choice: fight or try to survive the journey home. Miguel spotted another British ship. He armed his remaining bomb. James saw him diving. There was only seconds to react. The Harrier accelerated. Lock tone. Missile away. The missile streaked across the sky. A brilliant flash erupted behind the Skyhawk. Miguel ejected moments before the aircraft disappeared into the sea. His parachute drifted gently toward the cold Atlantic. James turned back toward the carrier. Fuel warnings filled the cockpit. The ocean stretched endlessly beneath him. Finally, the carrier appeared through the mist. The Harrier touched down safely. Deck crews erupted in applause, not because of victory, but because another pilot had made it home alive. The fighting continued for weeks. Many aircraft were lost. Many sailors never returned home. Pilots on both sides showed extraordinary courage under impossible conditions. Years later, veterans would remember not only the combat, but also the professionalism and humanity shared between former enemies. The South Atlantic eventually grew quiet again. The ships sailed home. The skies cleared. But the stories of the pilots who faced impossible odds remained part of aviation history. Their aircraft became symbols of determination, innovation, and sacrifice. They proved that skill, training, and courage could influence the outcome of a battle, even when the odds seemed uncertain. History is written not only by machines, but by the people who fly them. Their courage reminds us that every victory in war comes at a human cost, and that peace is always the greater triumph. If you enjoyed this cinematic military history story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more original war stories, aviation history, and dramatic tales inspired by real events.